It's hard for me to associate this game with the rest of the Wonder Boy series. This is because the rest of the Wonder Boy series is pretty much a different line of games. Also, when I look at this particular game, there's only one title that I think of, and that is Hudson's Adventure Island for the NES, even though that game is actually a clone of this one. This is Wonder Boy for the Sega Master System. Wonder Boy was originally developed for the arcade in 1986 by a company named Escape. In a licensing agreement with Sega, Escape owned the rights to the game while Sega owned the rights to the characters and names. In an agreement with Hudson to port Wonder Boy to the NES, the title was completely rebranded to Adventure Island. Hudson then proceeded to further develop the Adventure Island series in the same tone as the original, independent of any involvement with Escape. Meanwhile, as Escape further developed their own sequels in the Wonder Boy franchise, the tone of the series took a drastic change and became more of a Metroidvania fantasy-style series. Because of all this, along with the fact that the NES was more popular than the Sega Master System in both the US and Japan, Adventure Island became the most well-known of the two. Back in the mid to late 80s, side-scrolling games were what you made when you really meant business. Mario was the ultimate sensation, and Wonder Boy posed itself to become a direct competitor. Your objective was to move from the left side of the screen to the right. You can definitely see the influences here. Wonder Boy aims for a similar tripped-out, colorful tone, and the main character, wonderfully named Tom Tom, has a jump that feels just like Mario's. However, Wonder Boy sadly lacks the polish of its competitor. He just loves to slip and slide at all possible times, making jumps and maneuvering much more difficult than it seems they actually should be. It adds a unique rough around the edges and not for whiny bitches feel to it, but that doesn't make it any less of a pain in the ass. Wonder Boy is one of those 8-bit wonders solely designed to frustrate gamers to hell and back. This is the kind of game that you theoretically will be playing from scratch each time you have a go at it, and while ideally you could beat it within an hour or so of flawless gameplay, you will be repeatedly tearing your hair out instead. There's no life bar and just one hit will kill you. If you don't move quickly enough and keep collecting fruit to replenish your vitality, you'll die. What's a real son of a whore though is that this game repeatedly screws with you and making you change up your style of play. Some parts require you to go full blast, making quick decisions because any random cloud or ledge could drop at just about any moment. If you aren't moving fast enough to make that jump, you're dead. But then at other times, if you're running too quickly, a moving ledge will be just out of reach, and when you go to make that leap of faith for it, you'll miss and die. You can just see the developers even today with a dopey ass grin on their face thinking how clever they were. Wonder Boy is definitely old school, and it is definitely for gamers who don't mind memorizing their levels before making a solid run through. There's no doubt that Wonder Boy is the black sheep of the franchise. It's much different from the rest of the series, some of which became very incredible original games. If you're a hardcore platforming fan though, it might still be worth checking this out. You have to be a fan of the mechanics though, as otherwise it's a very shallow, straightforward experience. I give Wonder Boy on the Sega Master System a 4 out of 10.